Hello and welcome to Ferri Unfiltered with my amazing guest, Peter Hartley. How are you, mate?
I'm fantastic, mate. Just been laying in the 30-degree heat while you are all making snowmen back home. So
you're not in Motherwell anymore anyway. This is the thing. You've got the sun out there. So you're out in, it's India, isn't it?
I'm based in Goa. With COVID, obviously, the full season is situated in Goa, and each team is in like a bio bubble.
Right.
So we have our own hotel, which only us can use the facilities type of thing. Then we play it out of 3 stadiums the full season.
Wow.
It's a 20 game season, and we're 17 in, so I've got 3 left.
Oof.
Obviously, if we get into the playoffs, then the season will get extended by 2 weeks, and you go into like a semi-final where first plays 4th, second plays 3rd, and then obviously 2 teams go into a final. Then you win the ISL Cup. It's called. It's the Indian Super League Trophy.
Nice, mate. Nice. That's really cool. So so you've been staying in that same hotel then for the whole time?
Yeah, we've been in the same hotel. I come out here October the 7th. I had to do 2 weeks quarantine, and then we just obviously just lay in the sun and train and play football. It's brilliant, mate. I love it.
It's not even, if anybody's watching this on YouTube, it's not even a filter you've got on. This is obviously your natural tan. This is no bad, mate. No bad.
Yeah.
So how are you finding the difference?
What
was that? What were you saying?
The difference in. I was going to say when I came over here, I was white, but now I look Indian, don't I? So you wouldn't.
Mate, honestly, they wonder about how you find the adjustment to the heat. Obviously, if you're playing in Motherwell or playing in the UK, where you'd played with your teams before, and now playing out in that heat, how are you finding it?
Do you know what? I've climatized now, but see, when I got out of quarantine, the first 2 weeks of training, I actually had to drop out of training because I couldn't breathe.
Really?
I don't know whether it's the altitude or yeah. There was about 3 or 4 times in the first week where I had to say to the assistant manager, Sandy Stewart, I said, I don't feel right, I need to drop out. It was just, I was sweating way too much, couldn't breathe properly. Then, longer the time went on, I feel great now. I mean, the games are like easy, but pre-season was the toughest pre-season I've ever done, to be honest with you, mate. It was crazy.
See, with your career out there,
breathe. I'm sweating.
Yeah, but you couldn't breathe here, by the way. See, if you're in Motherwell, take the breath away if it's that cold. It's balmy. I'm doing this podcast in the gym, and I've actually got a jacket on and a fleece. It's insane. I was like, oh my god.
Hi, mate. Do you know what I was going to do just to rub your face in the cake? I was actually going to put a pair of Speedos on and my armbands.
I'm like, see, I did a podcast the other week and I did it down here, and it was like halfway through, I was like, I'm sorry, by the way, I need to put my jacket on. I'm like so cold. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So, What time is it over there now? Then you're about what? You're about 5 o'clock or something?
It's 20 to 5, in the afternoon,
20 to 5. So what do you do with yourself? I can hear you now. What do you do with yourself then once you've done your training? Do you get up too much?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm doing my UEFA B&A coaching license. So I've been doing a lot of theory with that.
Nice.
It's why I've got time on my hands, and I'm out at home with the missus and little man driving me crazy. So I've just been getting my teeth into the theory work, like getting that done. It's been good. I'm enjoying it. I'll tell you what, mate, to be totally honest with you, this place, India, has massively opened my eyes.
Oh, really?
You don't realise what you've got back home. You don't realise what you've got back home, mate, until you come to a place like this. Honestly, I've never, like, I'm so appreciative of the way our life is at home. I mean, you walk in, we have to walk out of the hotel 100 yards to get on a bus to then drive to the training pitch, and there's just cows everywhere. They can do what they want. In India, cows are sacred.
Right.
If you run someone over with a car, a human being, it's okay. But if you run a cow over, you're in a lot of trouble, because cows are God over here. You have the run of the country that can do what they want. Honestly, it's crazy. I swear, mate.
Random cows?
Random cows everywhere, just walking past her. Cows, stray dogs, houses and houses here, mate. It's the huts. I can't explain. You've got to experience it, but it's put me in an amazing state of mind. I'm so happy after. I wish I'd done it when I was younger.
Really?
Obviously, yeah, I really do. Yeah, because it opened your eyes with life. You know, the way the people live, and they're such nice people, man. They've got such big hearts. They're not negative. They're not bitter. They're appreciative of everything. Indian people. They're really, really nice people.
As somewhere I've always
You
loved
go
to
home
rent.
and
It
yeah.
looks
Well,
good.
I'm happy I've done it. I mean, when I got married, I went to Sri Lanka, so I had a little bit of an inkling of what it was going to be like. But this is another level. Like, it's
Aye.
brilliant, though. I absolutely love it. I'm just so happy I've done it. But you just don't realize how fortunate you are.
Well, this is it. When I went backpacking, so that was 11 years ago, and see, like you say, like it is an eye opener. Like when I was younger, and I went to like Thailand and Vietnam, and when you were seeing all these types of cultures, and then even when I went to Fiji, and the one thing I always remember in Fiji was they put we were on an island, and it was just this island, and everybody was just sort of like we were eating what they ate, living what they lived. It was brilliant, and they came out and they had a big sheet, and they'd put on a cartoon for all the kids, but the kids weren't interested because they were interested in, see, the local fire dancers. That was their heroes. They loved these guys. They were the best thing ever, and it was brilliant. And like we would sit with them at night, and we would just sit and have a drink with them, and you were just like you say, like such nice people, and it was a massive eye opener for me because when I went back, I've like obviously when I went, I was only like 22. So when I came back, I just felt like material things meant nothing to me now. Like they still don't really mean anything to me. So I think I think it's a good thing to do. I want my kids to do it. I want my girls to do it. I don't know how you feel about your son. But I'd love my girls just to go traveling and see the world. Don't get me wrong. I'd be chasing after them, making sure they were all right.
I was going to say, you've got to be careful where you let them go.
Aye,
But
wherever they
yeah,
go,
I
I'm
mean,
like,
if I stay, yeah, crazy. My plan is to hopefully stay here for another couple of years. So I'm going to get my wife and son over.
are
Like,
you going to get them over
they
then?
need to experience this. Well, the season ends now. I get 6 months off, so I'll be coming back to the UK for 6 months. Then, if I stay out here, I'll be coming back over here in October time. So I'll
Right.
try and get them over for like New Year or something. You know, when the little man's off school. So, but I think they definitely need to come and experience it. It's amazing, amazing place.
It looks good. Like I'm following your page and the Instagram and that. Like it's nice to see you playing football where it's not miserable outside. That is a good thing. How you find it? Is it quite a cultured team? Obviously, you're used to playing, being a footballer anyway, with people from all over the world. Like, how are you finding it being from the UK, going over there? Obviously, like you've got your manager from the UK as well. So, like, is it like a big mixture? How is it?
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. It's a massive mixture. The team's predominantly made up of like Indian players. You're only allowed 7 foreigners per team. So I'm English. We've
Mm-hmm.
got an Australian. We've got a Nigerian. We've got a Lithuanian.
Nice.
We've got 2 Spanish boys. So yeah, 2 Spanish boys and a Brazilian. That is our 7 foreigners.
That is
So you
it.
know, if you're going to learn new cultures, it's definitely your team to sign for.
That is a big mixed bag of people then.
Oh,
And you're
it's
playing a
crazy
couple of
because
a couple of games. You playing like 2 games a week just now then?
it's probably a game every 4 or 5 days. To be honest, we had a
Aye.
12-day break around Christmas. Before that, yeah, we played every 4 or 5 days in this Sunday.
God, that's keep you fit,
Yeah,
mate. That'll
so
keep you
my
fit.
body just keeps getting my body keeps getting super glued back together, and they're just wheeling me out for another game.
Magic sponge and deep heat and just send
Oh
you
man,
out, mate. That's it. So obviously, I want to get people to know
yeah.
you more. So let's talk about like how your career started, and obviously we'll obviously know where you are now, and you were obviously like the legend at Motherwell. So like let's talk about where did you start when you left school? How did you even were you always into football? So start right from the beginning then.
Well, I tell you how it started. Right when I was about 7 or 8 year old, my mum and dad both worked, and in the 6 weeks holidays, obviously there was no one to look after me, and you know, middle class family, you can't really afford a babysitter or whatnot. So my mum used to send me to a soccer school. It
Right.
was like it'd go on for 2 weeks from 8 till 5 at night, and I used to love it every day. You know, Monday to Friday, then you get a weekend off, go again the next week, and I just got into football that way. Then I signed for a local team in Hartlepool, where I'm based, and then a Middlesbrough scout see me playing. I went on trials at Middlesbrough when I was about 8, 9.
Right.
Got a contract at Middlesbrough, stayed in the School of Excellence for 4 years there, and then I fell out of love with it a bit. Things like this now back home, when your mates are going out and snowball fighting and making snowmen, and I've got to go training 5 till 7 on a Tuesday night, and I just want to go and play with my pals. So
Aye.
I left Middlesbrough, and I sort of, to be fair, my parents were brilliant because they let me make my own decision. I said I didn't want to play, like it was too serious, at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and played with my pals for another year or two. Then a guy called Mike Gordon, actually his son is Dave, is my agent now, but he scouted me at Sunderland. Yeah, it's crazy. But he was a Sunderland scout, and when I was about 12, I went on a trial then. I stayed at Sunderland from 12 till 21, and I made my debut there under Roy Keane. He was the manager when I was 18 in the Championship, so I played there. And then I just come up through the ranks. But the season I made my debut, I think it was New Year's Day against Leicester, and then he sent me out on loan after. And at the end of that season, I come back, and obviously when you've had a taste for first team football, and the season, I went on loan at Chesterfield, and the season had ended, but we still had 2 weeks left at Sunderland, so I had to come back and train for 2 weeks. And the reserves had a cup final, a Durham Cup final, and obviously, a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. Young 19-year-old, played 10, 12 first team games. I sort of thought I was too good to play in the reserves, and went and played in the game. I was garbage, absolute bag of rubbish. And the next day, Roy Keane pulled me in and released me.
Oh.
Released me from my contract. Yeah, like that's how. So obviously, I still had a couple of weeks left of training, and I had a choice. I could have just left, or seen the rest of my contract out and trained. So I just thought, I went home, obviously spoke to my mum and dad. I just thought, well, what have I got to lose? Go in, get my head down, work hard, and keep fit.
Mm-hmm.
Because 3 or 4 weeks left, go and keep fit. And if I get a trial or something at another club, I can just jump at that. Anyway, 3 weeks into the end of the season, I'm obviously going in early, leaving late on the day. The facilities are phenomenal, so I'd go in swimming on a morning, then train, and then I'd go and do a gym session in the afternoon. I was just being relentless. And 3 weeks in, he pulled me in his office and said he's changed his mind. He wants to give me a new contract.
Oof.
So Roy Keane gave me another year. So that was my lifeline in football. I could have went down a complete different path to where I'm at now. But yeah, so that happened. I got another year. We had an under 21 team. I think I was 20 at the time, and our under 21 team was phenomenal. Jordan Henderson, Jack Colback, Martin Waghorn, some real big hitters like in the 21s, and we had a fantastic coach called Neil Burley. We won all the competitions, the under 21 Premier League, everything that season.
Mm-hmm.
And then Roy Keane got sacked. Ricky Spurrier got the manager's job, and they offered me another 1-year contract. But then my hometown club, Hartlepool, offered me a deal, 3-year contract, and I was like, from being 12-year-old, I used to go to Hartlepool games with my uncle when I could. I had a season ticket, and I just thought, what? Like, for some kids, people's dreams are playing for England and Liverpool and Man United. Do you know what, mate? My dream was to play for Hartlepool at the Vic. I swear, at Victoria Park, and when I was a kid. So I took the contract. I left Sunderland, and I thought, if Sunderland were in the Premier League at the time, obviously being promoted, signing centre halves for 9 and 10 million, I'm a 20-year-old lad. I'm not really going to get a chance. So I just went and built my own career. Played for Hartlepool and went from there. Went to Hartlepool.
Oh, amazing.
It was crazy. Hartlepool to Stevenage, Plymouth. I've been all over the country. I'm a bit of a traveller, to be honest. Glorified travel.
Done with the UK now. Just got to go abroad. That's it. Then you're off. No, that's amazing. That's a brilliant. Like playing with your team that you've always loved. Though it must have been amazing just to put on the jersey, like, and actually walk out. Like, if somewhere that you've been there as a fan.
Aye, it was. The first season was surreal. Do you know what? I think it did affect me as a footballer because I was a fan on the pitch. So do you know, sometimes you'll know yourself, you'll have done it in life where you try too hard at something because you want it so much and it just goes the wrong way for you. Instead of just relaxing and what will be, will be. I was trying so hard on the pitch, but I was rubbish. My first season, and then Neil Cooper, you're a big football fan, a Scottish guy, Neil Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
He used to play for Aberdeen.
Mm-hmm.
He got the gaffer's job at Hartlepool, and I was 23-year-old. He gave me the captaincy, so that was it. I just took off from there, yeah. And then obviously signed for the Mighty Well after I've travelled the UK for a bit. Come up to Scotland, signed for the Mighty Well, and I loved my time there. It was brilliant.
Did you enjoy your time at Motherwell though? Did you have a good time at Motherwell?
Do you know what? Like, I'd never actually been to Scotland before I'd signed for Motherwell. Never been, and it's the best place. I'm not just saying it is the best place I've ever lived. It's people are amazing, man. You know, when you're just on the same wavelength as people. Obviously, I'm from the northeast of England, so it's the same type of mentality.
Definitely.
But just Motherwell, it was like a hometown club for me. Like Hartlepool is working class people. Do you know what I mean? Everyone, if you put the work in on the pitch, people recognise it. You don't have to be the best player in the world, but if you have a will to win and you get your head down, you work hard, people appreciate. You're playing for the badge. So I love the place.
It's great. Like, and that's the thing. It's Motherwell, the Motherwell team, the Motherwell fans are all like that. Like my friends are all diehard Motherwell fans. Like, see, when we were doing the sponsorship with you guys last year for the top, and like, I remember we were sitting there and we get the email through, and my friend was sitting with me, and he was like, "Wait a minute here." He's like, "Sign that big handsome bastard Peter Hartley. Get put that as the don't even look at MDLs." But like, that was the thing, and I was right, okay. But that is the thing. You were a total legend up here. Like, he was actually mailing me earlier on. He's like, "When you getting him on? Ask him if he'll just come back. Tell him just to come back." And I was like,
you know what? Like, I tell you what it was with me. There was a couple of things, and I knew there's a lot of good young players coming through, and I didn't coming through like your Barry Maguire's, your Yusuf Hussain's. You haven't seen these guys properly yet, but obviously when COVID happened as well, it was a difficult situation for the club, and they were absolutely fantastic through that. And I had a good conversation with them, and I knew my time was up, type of thing. So 2 cup finals and getting to Europe, like,
I know. They had a
if
great
I'm going to
run.
go out on a high, that's it for me. Do you know what I mean?
It definitely was a high, but I mean, it was.
Oh, you're not wrong. Honestly, what I've always said, everywhere I've been, it's like the only thing I always think about when I sign for a club is to just leave. Even if you're in a relegation battle and you manage to stay up, or if you're going to achieve something, when you pick the shirt up on day one, when you leave on day dot, you leave it in a better place. And I done that at Motherwell. And I think that's why I'm appreciated. Broke any records, but I left my shirt in a better place. So
I mean, he did brilliant. And the thing is you've not left in any bad blood. That's the thing. People still love you. You're still admired. I mean, it's not like you're going. They're like glad to see you go. They definitely didn't want to see you go. That was the thing. And you've moved out here now, and with the club there, it's like how you's getting on in the league. Are you doing well? Are you happy where you are?
Yeah, we're 2 points outside the playoffs with 3 games to go, so there's a lot to play for. But to be honest with you, mate, the referees are shite out here. Like, you could be the worst team in the world, but you get a penalty out of nothing, like, and you'll get beat or you'll win a game. The referees can win or lose your games, so it's a toss of a coin some weeks. We could have been top of the league after 6 or 7 games, and honestly, mate, I can't explain it. You've got to explain. I've always been quite an aggressive person on the pitch, but I've had respect for referees. But over here, I just can't control my mouth, man. I'm on 7 yellow cards in 17 games. I've just come back from a ban. I might be getting another one next game if I get another yellow.
Oh, mate. Isn't it? It's like water and eggshells your next game then.
I know.
Oh, that's crazy. And obviously your manager,
we play
former Motherwell man as well.
Aye, Owen Coyle, what a guy. Fantastic bloke, like. Top bloke. Good coach, top bloke. He's been brilliant for me, honestly. He's been absolutely brilliant. Spoke to him in the summer. So I could have stayed in England or come back to Scotland, but when I spoke to him on the phone in the summer, like, it was just his passion, man. His enthusiasm, his passion, and he sold it to me. And when I've come over here, every box he ticked on the phone, he's ticked over here. He's been really good.
That's good. It lives up to his promises. Then that's excellent. That's what you want from somebody if they're getting you to fly all the way over there. I mean, it's so. Have you not been back home since October? Then have you not been back to get back home?
No, we're in a bio bubble. I didn't know this before I signed, to be honest. Otherwise, we're in a bio bubble, so we're not allowed to go anywhere. We're not allowed to leave the hotel. We only have certain parameters around the hotel we're allowed to go to. So, like I said, got out here October the 7th, and I'll be going home end of February. So I can't wait to get home. So I've not seen the missus and the little man for 6 months. My missus is due on the 8th of March as well. So
congratulations, mate. That you better get back. Good.
It's going to be touch and go if I have to self-isolate for 10 days. I'll be stuck in isolation and should be in the hospital giving birth. If that's the case, I'm missing it, mate. I'll be in the spare bed for 6 months.
Oh, you will, mate. You will. You'd have no balls left, man. You'd rip them off if that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Oh. That's a bit. So, like, what age is your wee boy now then?
He's 3.
He's 3.
He's 4 in May.
4 in May. And is he okay? Are you getting to talk to him quite a lot then? You talk to him every night then, like in the phone?
Well, with the time difference, I usually ring him when he wakes up in the morning, because we obviously finish training, then it'll be afternoon here. But at first he was delighted to speak to me, and now he's, you know what kids are like, he's a bit distracted. Like I have to force to sit with the phone. He's football mad, mate. Honestly, he's crackers.
Are you trying to get him into Hartlepool? Are you trying to get him into your home team?
I don't know. I think I don't know. He's good. He's good. He's a good little player, like. But I just think he'll get a red card every game. The way he tackles, he's carnage. He just goes 2 foot and everything. It's madness. Nah, he's a cracking little player. He loves football, but. Kids are kids, aren't they? You know what it's like.
Oh, I know. I said to my wee girl the other day, I was like, you want to, when you're bigger, do you want to take over daddy's gym? She's like, I've got 2 daughters of it, you know. She's like, no, Lucia can work in the gym. You can buy me she says, salon, and you can work in the ice cream van as well. I'm like, where do you get these ideas from? Like, where did you put that together? I mean, by day I run a gym, by night I've got an ice cream van just going about. Ridiculous. But it's always keep me on your toes, mate. They keep me on your toes. I'm going to keep you on your toes now, because I'm going to ask you.
Their imaginations are brilliant, aren't they?
It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. I love it, and that's brilliant. Then you daddy too, mate. That would be great. Would you ever fancy it? Now you're saying you're going to maybe stay out there for a few years. If you got offered a contract back in the UK, do you think you would move back?
Probably not, to be totally honest with you.
Oh, really? That's it. Must be good.
I would stay here because it's 6 months on, 6 months off. So when I get home on the 27th of February, after me day and a half of traveling, I've got 6 months off. See, if you play in England or Scotland, in Scotland especially, you get 4 weeks off in the summer, and then you're back at it again. In England, you get 8 weeks. Here, you get 6 months. And I'm 32 now, so if I want longevity and prolong my career, it's 20 games a season out here, where you play 30, 40, 50 in the UK.
I can see your point. You've sold it to me, mate. You sold it to me. Mate, the cogs are turning. The cogs are turning.
I think the cows sold it to you, didn't they?
Mate, that's it. Free meat just walking about. You just need to be like an assassin if you're trying to take in. So do they know? While we're talking about food, then Pierre, let's move on to your random questions that I've got for you, right? So they're very random, I know. So the podcast called Ferri Unfiltered. If I was meeting you in person, I'd be making you a hot beverage, because I found out quite a few people don't drink coffee. So if I had to make you a hot drink, what would I be making you? Or a coffee, what would I be making you?
Double espresso.
Good man. You're starting off well. This is good. This is it now. We'll get the game changer here, right? Yeah. If we're going to make
you know when someone's got kids when they say double espresso.
What's that?
I said, you know when someone's got kids when they say double espresso.
100%. Let's go on to your so pizza, right? If I had to get you a pizza, What type of pizza would they be getting you? So it could be from anywhere. So say maybe the best pizza you've had in a country, or and whatever your favourite type of base is, toppings. You can go in depth as you want, mate.
I'm gonna go double decadence. Have you tried that before?
I have not, and I want to find out
So the
about
crust
this.
is a double decadence crust.
Right.
Double
Okay.
decadence crust, and then I will go. It's called a London. Okay, a
Right.
London
I'm
pizza.
intrigued.
So it's a margarita, but before you put the cheese on top, and then the cheese on top. So it's like it's double decadence around the outside, which is cheese and like a tomato sauce in the crust.
Okay.
And then you've got chips. So it's a London pizza, chips with a cheese on top of that. It's a meal. It's a meal in a box, mate. You're laying on the sofa for like 3 hours when you're in pain, but it's worth every second. Like,
just double carb that up, mate. You just double carb that pizza.
you're not wrong.
Oh, mate.
That's why my body fat's through the roof.
Oh man, in ways I want to try this now, like chips and a pizza. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
I'm going to need to look up this double decadence so base, man. I need to see this. I need to actually see this after this.
Yeah, have a go.
Right, let's go into your guest, mate. So what I usually do with everybody is I like to find out if they to have a dinner party. Right, so we're having dinner. We're going to have your double decadence London style pizza. Right, everybody's getting a wee double espresso. Right, if you to invite 5 people, now they could be dead or alive. They're not coming back as zombies or anything like that. They're just coming back as themselves from the past. Right, 5 people that you would have at a dinner party. Who would you have?
I'm gonna go Georgie Best.
Good choice. Good choice.
Conor McGregor.
Oh, right.
Kevin Hart, the comedian.
I was watching him the other day.
I think. Yeah, Penelope Cruz. Oh, mama.
I like it. I like it. But
we've got to put a sprinkle of sauce on there, haven't we?
But then you've got George Best there. I mean, he's probably going to be in about it before the dinner party even starts. I mean, so you've got George Best.
Pissed in the corner for
George Best, Conor McGregor, Penelope Cruz. Who else did you say?
George Best, Conor McGregor, Penelope Cruz, Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Oh, you've got one more.
I tell you what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for The Rock. Do you know Dwayne Johnson?
Yes. This is it, mate. This would be an entertaining.
I'm going for him. That's my 5.
Mate, at least always
with a big fat. Yeah, with a big fat fuck off double decadent pizza. Perfect.
Mate. All athletes, mate, use deserve double carbs. That's fine. That's nothing to use. Nothing to use. I mean, so
oh man,
you've got great guests, great pizza, and good coffee. So what I'd like to do now is what I was saying to you earlier when we were messaging. I usually ask people for like books. Books can be anything at all. So it could be like, it doesn't even need to be books. It could be albums. The reason I ask this is, so for instance, one of the women we had on last week, she recommended, and they were all like 5 kids books, and it was great, and it was really, really good. So it could be anything along those lines. So whatever type of things that you want to suggest, 5 things that you would suggest, be albums or books.
Is this recommending it to other people?
Or even just things that you've read and you went, I've enjoyed that, or listened to it. Exactly. If you've maybe listened or read something, you went, I enjoyed that. Or see if it's just an album, you go, this is a belter an album. Yeah. I really like this. Whatever you think, mate. 5 different things.
I'm going to go. I've been listening to a podcast called the High Performance Podcast.
Okay.
Jake Humphries. Very good.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'm going to go a book. Sapiens.
Okay.
Have you read that?
No, what's that?
Sapiens. Is this a bit too serious, or
no,
I'm just recommending here?
No, mate. I told you this would
podcasts allowed, yeah.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
It's just basically the top level performers in any craft. It's really good. He gets loads of random people on. He had Steph Houghton, the female England captain, on there. He's had Josh Warrington, the boxer. It's just good, people from different sports. I like listening to it.
Love it.
And then I've been listening to another podcast called Under the Cosh. Can you remember Big John Parkin, the footballer?
No.
He played for Preston, and he's got a podcast called Under the Cosh, and Ferri, Open Goal. I'm going to go with them 2 as well. So there's 4.
That's good.
Open Goal podcast. And I'll finish with a book. I'm going to go Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Very good book, mate. Very good book. I read that. Yeah. I really like that. It's actually, it's really like Arnold Carnegie, things like that. It makes you think.
I've read that about 3 or 4 times.
I think it's a great wee book, even considering how long ago it was written.
I'm going to go 6. I've got another thing. This is just for you, Chris.
Go for it.
This is just for you. It's a podcast, and you've got to listen to it and drop me a text when you've listened to it. It's Rangan Chatterjee. I'll send you the name, and it's
send it.
A woman's on it, and she's survived through the I want to say Holocaust, but I don't think that's. She's called Dr. Edith Eger.
Right.
And what was it called when where the Germans were killing all the Jews? What's that again?
Oh, it's not
Auschwitz.
The Auschwitz.
Auschwitz. Yeah, survived through that. It's an amazing pod. It's on for about an hour and a half. You've got to listen to it. It is the best thing I've ever listened to.
Ooh.
This woman, so strong. It's amazing. I'll send you it after this.
Definitely.
Have a listen and let me know what you think.
Oh no, definitely. I love. See, the thing is, see, when everybody recommends these things, I go and do it. Like I bought I've been back. You'd see my book collection, my Audible collection. It's just been going up and up and up. I'm like, that sounds really good. And Laura's like, you're doing something else. And I'm like, look, it's educational. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to do stuff like that.
Brilliant.
No, I do. I love putting on these podcasts. I listen to totally random thing. Like I love like TED Talks and stuff like that because you've always got somebody different on it. That I'd actually put that on my online coaching this morning, and I'd say to my clients, I was saying to them, look, you could put something like this on and you would think, I'll never ever, that's nothing I would ever listen to. And then you could sit and get 5-10 minutes into it and get totally engrossed in it because it's a subject you would normally go to, but you could get something from it. So I'm trying to get people to broaden the horizon of like what they should look at. See, mate, this has been good.
Yeah, well, I've had a lot of time on my hands over here, so I've just been listening to all sorts of different stuff. You know what it's like, and then like you said there, you think, oh, this won't be for me. Then 10 minutes in, you're completely engaged, and then you're drifting off, and it's brilliant. I just love it when your mind just drifts off, doesn't it?
It's great. Like the one that I've been, the 2 that I've listened to more or less back to back. It was just there was Simon Sinek, and it was Find Your Why and Leaders Eat Last. They're really good. See if you get time in your Audible or whatever you're reading. Really, really good books, and it puts into really nice scenarios that you're going, why actually that makes sense. I've been listening to loads of them. But I'm going to pick up that Napoleon Hill one again. That's dead weird you spoke about that. That I've got a lot of my books in my garage once I've read them, and that actually it fell out the other day when I was going in my turbo trainer, and I was like, I need to read that. And then you've just mentioned it again. That's a sign. That is a sign that I need to pick up.
It's phenomenal, isn't it? It's a great book. Like
it's really, really good. Apparently, is it? I don't know if it's a true story, but he wrote another book after it. But it was when everybody was saying he was going a bit loopy, and it was apparently like, I'll need to find the name of it for you and send you it. But people says that like everybody thought he was. I'm sure this is the same guy that everybody thought he was going crazy, but it wasn't because a lot of the things that are happening are actually happening. Have actually happened after he's wrote the book. So I'll try and
really? I didn't know. I've actually got another one of the books here called The Law of Success. But I haven't read it yet. It's about that thick. It's put me off reading it. It's so thick. But I can't find out what that's called there. What you're talking about. So I'll definitely have a look at that.
It was. I'm sure it was Jack that was in the podcast before. And he'd mentioned that bit, but then I'll need to go back and play it. Jack Canva. He wrote it at the end. And that's what he I'm sure that was him that was telling me about it. I'm going to go back and find that for you now because I actually want to read that as well. But apparently that's what happened. He wrote another one after it. So there you are. There we go. Well, mate, thank you so much for taking the time out your day to come on the podcast and have a wee chat.
You're very welcome, mate. Always a pleasure. You know that.
It's been good. I think we've done well with the delay from here to India. I mean, I think it's been no too bad.
It's been. I knew it was going to be a little bit difficult, but it's been good. It's been good, mate. It's just a little bit of delay at times, hasn't it? But I've enjoyed it. It's been great to catch up with you. I've not seen you for a while.
I know, mate. It's been so good. So, thank you so much for taking the time out, and I will let you know when this is on, mate.
Top man. Thank you.